Saturn is about to enter Aries, and I feel like it's very much giving everything is falling apart and unraveling and getting messy, but one or two things along the way are finally clicking and making sense. Saturn does not have a personal vendetta against you. Let's get that out of the way. Saturn does not have anything against you personally. The Saturn return and Saturn in general is just here to make you hold yourself accountable. Saturn is a checkpoint type of planet. It is about balance, right? That's why Saturn exalts in the sign of Libra, which is the scales. Saturn, it shows us that with receiving comes sacrifice. Saturn is here to show you where your limits are, your limitations. Saturn is here to show you what's blocking you. Saturn is here to show you where you are failing. Saturn is here to show you what is holding you back. And don't forget to ask Astra how this is going to be affecting your rising sign using the Ask Me Anything tab. As a Capricorn rising, I'll basically be changing my personality. May 24th, Saturn enters Aries, and it's going to stay there until the end of August, when Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces, until February of 2026. And that's when Saturn's going to finally enter Aries again and stay there until 2028. Now, we have Neptune currently in Aries. It's going to stay there until October of this year. It's going to retrograde in Pisces, and then Neptune's going to be permanently in Aries come January of 2026 and stay there for the next 14 years. Now, Saturn has a lot to do with societal and cultural shifts. And with this being said, it's completed about a 30-year cycle. The last time Saturn was in Aries was between the years of 96 and 99. People that were born, most people born between those years, are going to be experiencing their Saturn return very soon. So clock in, babes. Now, whether you succeed, whatever you do with that, is none of Saturn's business. Saturn is simply an agent of fate, and Saturn is here to show you it's not about being the main character, it's about being the director, it's about being the CEO, right? It's not about being the protagonist, it's about being the mentor. That's what's really fulfilling. So let's get into Saturn and Aries, because Aries is a cardinal sign. It's about initiation. It's about the beginning of a new era, right? It's the first sign, so Saturn's completed a cycle. Saturn and Aries' transit is something throughout human history that has coincided with social upheaval of some kind, globally, on a global scale. Saturn and Aries is about resistance, right? Saturn and Aries took place during the ending of the civil rights movement in the late 60s and early 70s, and we also saw Saturn and Aries during the beginning of World War II. With this Saturn and Aries, my predictions for this transit, it's pretty nuanced, but overall, we have this sense, especially with Neptune also being in Aries, of this almost like false prophet, false leadership. We're in the dark, we're in the mess of it, we're in the thick of it, and we're in this darkness, and we're searching for someone to stand up. And it's kind of just like whoever is the loudest is the person that's in charge, and that's for better or for worse. We're also going to be seeing this understanding of like the individual realizing and reclaiming its own purpose, and realizing that the individual's choices is actually a very essential part of the process to committing and creating real change, right? To rebuilding and building a new world. Saturn is about creation, right? And you know, Saturn is also, honestly also about destruction. But Saturn wants you to create at the end of the day. Not that Saturn has anything that it really wants from you, but it favors creation. And so in that way, we have this understanding of like, with this transit, there's also this like letting go of spiritual bypassing and this love and light mentality. And we're really embracing our rage. We're embracing the fact that we're angry, that we're tired. And at the same time, we also want to escape the insanity of it all. There is this integration that takes place with the sign of Aries. It's literally about integration, the integration of destruction and creation, the integration of conflict and collaboration, and those two things happening parallel. With this transit, we're also going to be seeing kind of the takedown of structures and cultures, industries that have been glamorized or put on a pedestal. It's kind of like a mob or like a riot that kind of decides to kind of knock down the idols, right? And so we're kind of questioning our beliefs. We're questioning what we've poured all our faith into, and if it's saving us at the end of the day, right? What is this our is this truly our savior, right? And people are kind of outsourcing for that and realizing we don't need to outsource. We don't need to surrender, and we don't need to be silent. But at the same time, with Neptune also in Aries with Saturn there is this sense of this can cause disillusionment. It's kind of like we want to, there's also this sense of people with this under this transit that are just trying to start chaos. There are people that are waiting with bated breath. There are people that are salivating just purely for destruction. They have no means of trying to create something new and trying to reprise something or resolve something. They are simply salivating and craving and desiring to see things burn. And these are the people that may receive a lot of the attention as people divest their attention. It's not their fault at the end of the day. Like, it's not like, it's like this idea of heroes versus villains that we've all kind of fallen victim under with, Saturn and Pisces and Neptune under Pisces, right, for, that long period of time. We're also going to see this continue to be relevant with Pisces because we have the North Node there. We have the eclipses that are happening there for the next year and a half. But it's very much like the idea of heroes and villains, it's kind of falling away. It's kind of like everybody has been like wanting to be somebody. Everyone's been wanting to kind of like be sparkly and be glamorous. I want to be somebody. But it's now more so under this transit. It's kind of like, I'm okay with just being nobody, and I'm embracing that. I'm embracing just being an ordinary, everyday person. And I'm romanticizing that now, right? I'm okay just being the everyman. I think people are going to be kind of letting go of chasing the fantasies. And also lots of bubbles being burst as well. It's like you can no longer escape the harshness and the brutality of certain realities. Also, like, there are people that want to rise up and want to take action endlessly because they don't fully even understand what they're fighting for. Like, they don't even fully have the answers yet, but they are for some reason claiming to be the answer. And so, everyone's going to be flocking to them like, this is the truth, this is the answer, this is what we've been looking for. And it's actually not that. That's why I kind of said false prophet, false leadership, right? Whoever is the loudest kind of being the person who's deemed as right or being the person in charge. But they're just here to start something. They're just here to throw rocks and then hide their hands. And that's why Aries has so much to do with like originality and authenticity, right? Because it's like, maybe the person that's truly original and authentic is the person that's willing to admit when they're wrong, the person that's willing to admit when they've made a mistake, when they've taken a risk, right? It's also like with within the context of spirituality, like, it's no longer going to be about making your vision boards. It's no longer going to be about just like sitting in passivity. It's going to be about, okay, but like, what are you doing? Are you fully embracing it? Are you fully inhabiting it? What are you fighting for? Aries has a lot to do with activism, and it literally activates us. So, what are the causes that you care about? Like, what are the hills that you're willing to die on? No more like, it's not going to matter anymore. Like, how clean you look or like what your aesthetic is, like the things that you have or who your parents are or how much money you have to get people to listen to you and to appreciate you and to hear you, especially within the realm of social media, right? People are going to be more attracted to and have more value for realness and boldness and something refreshing. People want something that's going to make them feel renewed, right? This is also a great time for the youth as well. The generations that rise up during Saturn and Aries are the generations that define the culture for the next 30 years. They're the trailblazers. They lay the foundations, right? And so, they're the people that inspire what's to come. Saturn and Neptune and Aries is not about selling the fantasy. It's about acknowledging the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is an energy that favors truth-telling, protest, resistance. Down through, what we consume, embracing the brutality. Stop looking for the applause and start doing it for yourself. And this transit is going to be about gaining sovereignty and gaining independence through any means necessary.